Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today we're going to be talking about January 2021 book releases. So if you don't know, I have this little series on my channel where I talk to you about all the releases for the following month, so in this case January, and then you can vote on what book you want me to read and review at the end of the month. So far I've done Once and Future Witches, These Violent Delights, and this month I'm doing Curse of Roses, which is a bizarre one. I haven't started it yet, but get prepared. So if you want to stay updated with all of my videos, series, all that happening, I would subscribe or check out the playlist for all of these up above. But without further ado, let's kind of get into the video. So I have chosen 8 books that I am quite excited to read. I don't want to say that each single one of them is a different genre, but they are a very good mix of genres and I think they're quite varied. So hopefully you will find something you like. And again, if you want me to read anything, vote in the comments and vote to Twitter or just DM me or something, I don't know. Let me know which ones you think are the most interesting. So these are in order of publication, so don't come for me if you think the order isn't right, it's the order of publication. The first book I want to talk about is Lore by Alexandra Bracken, and this is coming out January 5th and it's a fantasy novel. So Alexandra Bracken, I think she's the author of the Darkest Minds trilogy or quartet, I don't know. I read the first 3 books and then they just kept going and I stopped reading. But what really fascinates me about this book is that it has to do with Greek gods and mythology, and if you know me, and you know I really love mythology, so I'm really excited about this one. Let me read you the synopsis. Every 7 years, the Aeon begins. As punishment for past rebellion, 9 Greek gods are forced to walk the earth as mortals, hunted by the descendants of ancient bloodlines, all eager to kill a god and seize the divine power and immortality. Long ago, Lord Perseus fled the brutal world in the wake of her family's sadistic murder by a rival line, turning her back on the hand's promises of eternal glory. For years, she's pushed away any thought of revenge against the man, now a god, responsible for their deaths. Yet, as the next hunt dawns on New York City, 2 participants seek out her help. Castor, a childhood friend of Laura, believed long dead, and a gravely wounded Athena, among the last of the original gods. So I just think that sounds super cool. So it sounds a little bit like Hunger Games, but it's Greek gods and mythology. So, I mean, I'm sold, you know, but whether you're sold, I guess that's your own thing. But I think this sounds absolutely interesting. And I love old gods, but I like that. I think this was going to include quite a lot of different gods as well. Well, obviously the new gods who got all the power, but also like maybe smaller gods that aren't always mentioned. So I think that sounds super interesting. I'm very, very eager for that one. Next up, kind of continuing with the mythology and Greek gods theme, we have Percy Station by Stina Leicht. So this is coming out on January 5th as well, and it's a sci-fi novel, but it also has LGBTQ plus rep. And let me tell you what it's about. Persephone Station, a seemingly backwater planet that has largely been ignored by the United Republic of Worlds, becomes the focus of the Sarah Orlov Corporation, as the planet has a few secrets the corporation tenaciously wants to exploit. Rosie caters to wannabe criminals and rich earther tourists, of sort, at the front bar. However, exactly 2 types of people drank at Monk's back bar. Members of the rather exclusive criminal class and those who sought to employ them. Angel, ex-marine and head of semi-organized band of beneficent criminals, wayward assassins and washed-up mercenaries with a penchant for doing the honorable thing, is asked to perform a job for Rosie. What this job reveals will affect Persephone and put Angel and her squad up against an army. Despite the odds, they are rearing for a fight with the Sarah Orlov Corporation. For Angel, she knows that once honor is lost, there is no regaining it. That doesn't mean that she can't damn well try. So although that sounded a little bit convoluted, I think I'm really eager for LGBTQ plus romance. So this, I think, is a female-female relationship, and there's actually so many this January coming out. When I was looking at the books, there's countless of them. I think I only have 2 on the list, but you definitely should check out if that's something you're interested in. There are many cool lists telling you all the awesome books coming out, and a lot of them have LGBTQ plus reps, so I think that's really cool. The next book that I really am looking forward to is Every Single Lie by Rachel Vincent. So this one's coming out on January 12th, and it's actually a contemporary novel. I wasn't planning on putting it in contemporaries because I'm not a big fan of YA contemporaries. I think I just kind of grew out of them because I used to read them a lot, and I don't think there's anything wrong with them. It's just they never really grab in the same way that fantasy or sci-fi or thriller can. But this one sounded really interesting and heartbreaking, but also just out of the box, so that's why I was interested in it. Nobody in Beckett's life seems to be telling her the whole story. Her boyfriend Jake keeps hiding texts and might be cheating on her. Her father lied about losing his job before his shocking death, and everyone in school seems to be whispering about her and her family behind her back. But none of that compares to the day Beckett finds a body of a newborn baby in a gym bag, Jake's gym bag, on the floor of her high school locker room. A word leaks out, rumor that Beckett's the mother take off like wildfire in a town all too ready to believe the worst of her. And as the police investigation unfolds, she discovers that everyone has a secret to hide. Truth could alter everything she thought she knew. So I just think the fact that she finds the newborn is a very interesting plot point, and then that they think it's her boyfriend's maybe because it's in his bag, and then they think she's a mother, and just the small town, very judgmental vibes. Not something I usually gravitate to, but I think it can be quite interesting. So I'm really, really intrigued to see where this one goes. Next one I am so excited for. So this one is Remote Control by Nandi Okorafor, and if you don't know, she's the author of Binti, which is a series I love dearly, and I've recommended it many times on my channel. So I think that if you picked up Binti on my recommendation, you definitely should check this one out as well, because it's only 160 pages. So like Binti, it's very short. It's also a sci-fi novel. It's coming out January 16th, and it just sounds really, I mean, to be fair, I'll read anything she writes because I still need to continue with the Binti series. I know, and I need to read all of her past books, but on top of that, I will read any new release by her because I think she's an awesome author, and I don't like sci-fi normally, but Binti was so good. What is Remote Control about? The day Fatima forgot her name, death paid a visit. From here on in, she would be known as Sankofa, a name that meant nothing to anyone but her, the only tie to her family and her past. Her touch is death, and with a glance a town can fall. And she walks, alone, except for her fox companion, searching for the object that came from the sky and gave itself to her when the meteors fell, and when she was yet unchanged, searching for answers. Is there a greater purpose for Sankofa now that death is her constant companion? Sounds bizarre, sounds weird, sounds very concept heavy, but I love that, and I have every faith in the author that she'll be able to perform the concept well and really get into those important conversations, because Binti also was a short book with a lot of punch and a lot of important things to say and to explore, and I just really absolutely love that. I'm so excited for this one. I really hope it's good. Alright, the next book is one that I was actually gonna include in last month's one, but then I think they pushed back the date or something, or Goodreads was wrong. So this one's called Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. It's coming out January 19th, and it's a fantasy novel, and what I really liked about it, it has arranged marriage. I'm basic, but I really like arranged marriage, like plot points and like tropes, so I'm really excited. So let me tell you what it's about. The first book in an epic, heart-pounding duology about two royal heirs betrothed to be married, but whose loyalties are torn and ruthless enemy who threatens their world. Adra is the royal heir of Belvar, a talented witch on the cusp of taking her royal ceremony test, and a girl who just wants to prove her worth to her people. Jatin is the royal heir to Nupture, a competitive wizard who's mastered all 9 colors of magic, and a boy anxious to return home for the first time since he was a child. Together, the arranged marriage will unite 2 of Wicker's most powerful kingdoms, but after years of rivalry from afar, Adran and Jatin only agree on one thing: their reunion will be anything but sweet. I mean, wizards, rivals, arranged marriage, enemies to lovers. I just think it's gonna be really good. I'm super excited. Next up, we have The Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. That was a handful. And it's coming out January 19th. It's a historical fiction LGBTQ+ story. And it has a gorgeous cover, so that kind of got me interested. First, don't judge me. You choose books based on covers. That book, it was about 2 women and they fell in love with each other. And then Lily asked the question that had taken root in her, that was even now unfurling its leaves and demanding to be shown the sun. Have you ever heard of such a thing? 17-year-old Lily, who can't remember exactly when the question took root, but the answer was in full bloom the moment she and Kathleen Miller woke booked under the flashing neon sign of a lesbian bar called Telegraph Club. America in 1954 is not a safe place for two girls to fall in love, especially not in Chinatown. Red Scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily. With deportation looming over her father, despite his hard-won citizenship, Lily and Kath risk everything to let their love see the light of day. Yeah, this one sounds really wonderful. I'm selective about my historical fictions, but I think this one I would really enjoy because it sounds like it's gonna tackle some really important topics that might be quite poignant in today's climate, let's call it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be super interesting, and the cover's gorgeous, and it's been by an Asian author, and all of it sounds wonderful to me. Okay, the next one, it has the most interesting, gorgeous cover and interesting, gorgeous synopsis, but it's coming out January 26th, so it's a bit late, but still. Wings of Ebony by J.L. Wings of Ebony is a fantasy novel, and let me tell you what it's about. Make a way out of no way is just the way of life for Rue. But when her mother is shot dead on her doorstep, life for her and her younger sister changes forever. Rue's taken from her neighborhood by the father she never knew, forced to leave her little sister behind, and whisked away to Gizon, a hidden island for magic wielders. Rue is the only half-god, half-human there, where leaders protect their magical powers at all costs and thrive on human suffering. Miserable and desperate to see her sister on the anniversary of her mother's death, Rue breaks Gizion's sacred do not leave law and returns to Houston, only to discover that black kids are being forced into crime and violence, and her sister Tasha is in danger of falling sway to the very forces that claimed their mother's life. So it's about black kids, it's about black magic, it's about wizards and half-gods. Everything I love, and it looks so gorgeous. And again, it's coming out 26, so if you choose that one, I'm gonna read it quick. Yeah, I always leave it to the last minute, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm so excited for this one. Look, sounds absolutely amazing. And then we have our last book, which is the only horror novel on this list, or horror/thriller, I don't know. Goodreads has very confusing tags because they're made by people, so they really don't mean that much. This is Don't Tell Us All by Kristen Miller, and it's coming out January 26th as well. And like I said, it's a horror/thriller. The cover is absolutely stunning, so I'm really excited for reading this because, I mean, just not because of the cover, but you know, cover help. And I think the synopsis sounds absolutely captivating, and I think it's something for fans of like Truly Devious and Rebecca, I think. And I'm a fan of Truly Devious. I didn't read Rebecca. I only like the first book, and well, I only like the first two books in Truly Devious, but you know, this is a standalone, so they're doing the thriller/horror right. Although that is a YA. This doesn't strike me as YA. Anyway, so here's the synopsis. All Bram wanted was to disappear. From her old life, her family's past, and from the scandal that continues to haunt her. The only place left to go is Louvre, the tiny town on the Houston River where her uncle James has been renovating an old mansion. But James is haunted by his own ghosts. Months earlier, his beloved wife died in a fire that people say was set by her daughter. The tragedy left James a shell of the man Bram knew, and destroyed half the house he so lovingly restored. The manor is creepy, and so are the locals. The people of Louvre don't want outsiders like Bram in their town, and with each passing day she's discovering that the rumors they spread are just as disturbing as the secrets they hide. Most frightening of all are the legends they tell about the dead girls. Girls whose lives were cut short in the very house Bram now calls home. A terrifying reality is that the dead girls may have never left the manor, and if Bram looks too hard into the town's haunted past, she might not either. Doesn't that sound so creepy and just, I don't know, it just sounds so good. So creepy, and a haunted house. I don't read much horror, but I really enjoy it when I read it, so I'm gonna check it out. I think even if you don't vote. I mean, many of these books I will get myself to read eventually. If there's one that you really want me to have a dedicated review for, I mean, my dedicated reviews are very detailed, so if you want a very detailed review for any of these, please vote in the comments. Let me know which book you would want me to read. Again, if you're interested in any other videos in this series, check out the playlist, and if you could comment, subscribe and like, I would so appreciate it. It really helps out me and my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!